Mantra from Ved Panchashadi, mantra number 46, page number 153 from Atharva Veda. ये त्रिष्पतः प्रीष्यन्ति विश्वः रूपाणि विभ्रतः वाचस्पति बलातेषाम तन्वो अद्य ददातु मे। हे प्रभु, आपकी 21 तत्वात्मक प्रकृति सी त्रिष्पता, that means 21 त्रिष्पता, 3 times 7 त्रिष्पता। हे प्रभु, आपकी 21 तत्वात्मक प्रकृति जो विविध नाम रूप धारण कर विश्व में सर्वत्र व्याप्त है। सो ये 21 क्या है? 5 प्राइमरी एलिमेंट्स, राइट? 5 उनकी पावर्स आल्सो, तन मात्रा जिसको कहते हैं, 10 इंद्रियां, 5 सेंस ऑर्गन्स, 5 एक्शन ऑर्गन्स और 1 मन। दीज आर 21। ओके, सो हे प्रभु, आपकी 21 तत्वात्मक प्रकृति जो विविध नाम रूप धारण कर विश्व में सर्वत्र व्याप्त है, उसकी शक्ति आपकी कृपा से मेरे तन मन बुद्धि में भी संचार करे और मैं हर प्रकार से स्वस्थ और सुखी रहूं। 21 तत्व जगत के शक्तिशाली जान, उनके ही आधार पर जीवन अपना मान। जो तत्व हैं जगत में वही देह में मीत, उनसे ही है निर्मित देह हमारा चीत। वे तत्व हैं कौन से, उनकी हुई पहचान, 5 तो अव्यक्त हैं, व्यक्त 5 लो जान। इंद्रिन के जो 10 विषय, मन भी उनके साथ, 21 तत्व जानिए जीवन उनके हाथ। चाहो जीवन हो सुखदाई, प्रकृति को संभालो भाई। जिस शाखा पर टिका हो जीव, उसी को काटे लगत अजीब। प्रकृति को राखे जो जन शुद्ध, जानो उसकी स्थित है बुद्ध। Okay, lot of message in this simple looking mantra. ओम गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरु देवो महेश्वरः, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। अस्तो मा सद्गम्या तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गम्या मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गम्या। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहि तेजस्वी नावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम। Okay, chapter 18. Last week we ended the class with verse number 61, where Rishi Astavakra ji is saying, with the fool, even withdrawal becomes action. So inaction also becomes an action, because keeps on thinking about the inaction. And with the wise, even action results in the inaction. Okay, so clear difference between the fool and the wise. Choice is ours. We always have that choice. We all have that choice. This is the freedom to human beings God has given us. Okay, that's why we are considered very fortunate to that this time around we came as a human being where we have a choice. And if we don't choose it wisely, then we are losing another chance. Okay, so do we want to stay wise, or do we become wise, or we want to stay fool? Let's look at 62 now. परिग्रहेषु वैराग्यम प्राया मूढ़स्य दृश्यते देहे विगलित आशस्य क्व रागा क्व विरागता. परिग्रहेषु, in possessions, parigraha, like when you possess something. Vairagyam, that is when you don't want something, detachment. Or over here, it really means aversion also, virag. I really don't want it. Praya, often, mudasya, of the fool. Drishyate is seen. Dehe, in the body. Galit ashasya, of one whose attachment has vanished. Galit means it has gone away. Ashasya means the attachment. Asha. Ko means where, raga means attachment, ko means again where, viragata, detachment or aversion. So the fool often shows aversion to his possessions. Okay? So it's not a viragya in its true sense. So true viragya is different. So fool often shows aversion to his possessions. Where is attachment and where is aversion for him whose love for the body has vanished? It's totally detached from everything because mind is not there. So over here he's talking about like an ordinary person would like to get away from his fields of activities. Like a week, all week long, a person is working hard and person says, I want to get away from it. I want to enjoy my weekend. A very ordinary state of mind. I want relaxation. So according to Astavakra, this kind of a person is a fool. Okay. Or even once a year, I want some vacation. I want to get away from this. He gets tired of the struggles of life. But a wise person does not get tired at all. Doesn't need to get away. So the desirelessness is a very superficial in an ordinary person. That I don't want it. I want to get away from it. So as long as we are identified with our physical body, so that's what he said in the second line. Dehe vi galit ashasya. So as long as we are identified with our physical body, we cannot really grow desireless. So we got to understand that I am not the body. I just only live in the body right now. I am not the body.
Hershji, can you repeat that sentence again, please?
As long as we are identified with our physical body, we cannot really grow desireless towards the objects which are conducive for the happiness of our physical body. Because we want the comfort for the body, because we think we are the body. Okay? So this body consciousness cultivates in us a tremendous amount of attachments. It's a body consciousness. To me, I think it's not even a consciousness these days. It's almost like an obsession about the body. That's where the endless desires grow. And that's how the vulgarity with our passions come into our personality, which is called lust. So temporarily, if somebody has aversion or a desirelessness, that doesn't mean a person has become a spiritual. That's the point he's trying to make over here. Okay, so he's giving us a contrast to show us clearly that attitude of the liberated in life, attitude of a yogi, his entire love for the body has vanished. See, that is the word over here. Dehe vigalit. Ashasya. Vigalit. Completely dissolved. To him, the body has become a dry leaf. You remember we have seen that example given by this great rishi to us. Like a dry leaf. With the wind, it goes here and there. Whether it goes on a mountain or whether it goes into the garbage pail. Doesn't even matter. That's the kind of a relationship with this body. To him, the body has become a dry leaf that has fallen away from him. There is neither attachment nor lust for the objects of the world. He has neither rag nor virag. So he is giving us a picture of an internal mind of this kind of a saint, because he rises above both these attitudes of the mind. He has no identification with the body. He is not aware of the objects of pleasures at all. Even if those objects of pleasure are in front of him, his attention is not towards them. A fool will run after the objects of pleasure. This kind of a person will not run even away from the objects of pleasure, because objects of pleasure, they do not have any control over him. Okay, so no rag, no virag, not running for them, not running from them. Yes, somebody has a question.
Shilpa? Unmute.
So the person is pretty much, you could say, living in samadhi and doing their duty.
Yeah.
Is that?
So doing whatever is in front, mind is totally absorbed in God. He's going to clear it in the next verse, you will see.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
So it's not he's sitting in samadhi and not doing anything. Because think about it, just pay attention to this, that he is talking to King Janak. King Janak, even after this realization, was a king for a long time. But what kind of a king was he? Okay. Not
But is there such a thing like, there is such a thing like living, so you mentally are in samadhi, but doing without the results.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You are doing whatever you prarabdha, according to the prarabdha, you are supposed to do. That's it. No more impressions put on you that I want it, I want to do this, I want to do it properly. No, nothing like that. Or I want to run away from it, I want to detach from it. So no attachment, no detachment. So this kind of a message is not for the beginners. Otherwise, we'll be fooling ourselves. So this message is for a very highly evolved practitioners. Okay. And why are we learning it? Because we all will become that. Okay. So when time comes, then it will know that, yeah, this is okay. This is what I studied from the mouth of a great Rishi Astavakra. It's normal. Otherwise, a person starts questioning, what is happening to me? Is it abnormal? But when we know that it's normal ahead of time, then we can just keep on progressing where we are. Okay. So that's the reason we are studying. Bhavna, abhavna, asakta, drishtihi mudasya sarvada, bhave bhavneya satu, swasthasya adrishti rupini. See, bhavna, abhavna, asakta. Asakt means attached. You remember, I always tell you, sakt is attached, asakt is detached, and asakt is very attached. So sometimes these three terms get very confusing if you don't know Sanskrit properly. So over here it's asakta, very attached to what? Bhavna and abhavna. Bhavna means ideation. Ideation over here means thinking. And abhavna is non-ideation, non-thinking. Drishti, view. Mudasya, deluded one. Sarvada, always. Bhavya, bhavneya, engaged in the ideation of objects. Thinking about the objects. Sa means that, tu means but, swasthasya, of one established in the self. Swastha. See, normally we think that swastha means healthy. But the real meaning of swastha means established in the swa, your own nature. Adrishti rupini, of the nature of non-ideation. Adrishti. So the view of the deluded is always attached to thinking, ideation, and non-ideation. But the view of one established in the self, though engaged in the ideation of objects, is of the nature of non-ideation. Okay, so it's like even doing the duty, taking care of the things, but the mind is attached. This bhavana means the thoughts. Where are they? They are not over there. Okay, so that's why I was saying earlier that previous verse is further clarified in this one. So his thoughts are into a steady meditation upon the nature of the self. And the nature of the self is the Atma. So doing something, so it's almost like a walking. A person might say, no, how can I even function? There are a lot of things we do all day long which are repetitive. We don't need to think about them. Do we really need to think when we are brushing our teeth? Where the brush is going? How long I need to do it? There's no thoughts. We have done it so many times. At that time, if you can think about it, your thoughts can be connected to yourself. Right? I mean, it's very easily when you're walking, when you're exercising, doing your yoga also, cleaning the house, cleaning the bathroom also. Some people say that, oh my God, in the bathroom, I'm supposed to think about God. Why not? God is there too. Watering the plants, taking care of a child. Most of our actions do not take much of the thoughts. Wherever we need to use the thoughts, use it. Definitely use it. But we are unnecessarily using the thoughts about worrying about the results or worrying about something else, which doesn't even belong, which doesn't even pertain to us at that given point. So he's telling us slowly how to move towards this higher level. Okay. So the view of the deluded is always attached to thinking or non-thinking. Oh, I don't want to think. That itself becomes a burden. But the view of one established in the self. So the minute we connect our mind to the Atma, what is there to think and not think? Okay. So the seeker, this kind of a seeker, first he was seeking definitely, then he has reached. So that's how he got established in the experience of the self. So first he was seeking. First there was a little effort involved. So, but while he's engaged in thinking of objects, even when the thoughts are running fast and vigorous in his mind, he is still enjoying the connection. Okay, even while doing the work outside, that is a state of thoughtlessness. See, it's not a, just see the very subtle difference over here. It's not a question of whether there are thoughts in the mind or not. The question is whether we are ourselves identified with the thoughts in the mind. That is the difference over here. Okay, what are we identifying with? So the sage is one who has withdrawn his identification with the thoughts in the mind. So that's why the existence or non-existence of the thoughts is of no consequence to him. He's not identifying with the thoughts. So we ordinary people, we play the part of a fool, not because the thoughts are arising in the mind, because in the mind thoughts will arise. That is a mind. Sankalp, vikalp, that is a mind. We are fool because we identify with them. Oh, my mind is good. I'm thinking good. We identify with that. I must be a good person. I'm helping. So we start identifying with them.
Harshji, can I ask a question here?
Sure, Poonam.
So the thoughts are, because mind is going to be always having thoughts. That's the job of the mind. So the thoughts are coming. I think, did you want to tell me that there is another layer of where he's connected to the self? So the thoughts are going there on their own, because if he's doing the regular work, thoughts have to come. But then which is the place that is connected? Then what is connected to the self at that time?
The deeper part of the mind.
Yeah.
The cheta.
And also maybe the thoughts can take him away because he's constantly aware of what thought is occurring.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Thank you.
So because we identify with the thought so much, what happens to us? We totally forget the source of the thoughts. We just live in the outer mind so much, we forget that powerhouse, which is the source. And the man of realization is a person, even in the very active world living, that never forgets the source. Okay? Never totally unconscious of the source from which they are coming from, where the mind is getting the power, the powerhouse. So that's why Astavakra ji is pointing out that even during ideations, even during thinking, he is established in the self. So it's not that he's not thinking at all. Even during thinking, he is ever in the state of non-ideation. Okay? So he has so much. See, we normally talk about controlling our mind, but controlling of the complete mind. Part of the mind needs to be thinking, but majority of the mind remembering. Who am I? Never forgetting who am I. Okay. So the minute we forget, what happens? We lose control. If you really ask a person, "No, what were you doing? Why did you act like that?" He said, "Oh, I forgot." Sometimes you are even speeding. You forget that you are speeding. You forgot. Or sometimes we say the words and later on somebody says, "Why did you say that?" "Oh, I forgot. I don't even know I said it." But a sage never loses that.
Harshji,
Yes.
can you clarify over here a little bit? What is non-thinking? What is thoughtlessness? And then you're saying there are always some thoughts.
Yeah. See, that I said it to clarify Poonam's comment over there.
Yeah.
See, in order to do the actions outside, you are thinking, right?
Right.
You got to think in order to do something.
Right.
But non-ideation over here is in the sense that he never forgets who he is.
So it's the identification with the thoughts.
Identification, like
Non-identification.
we start identifying with our mind. So the sage does not identify with the mind.
So it's not that you can prevent the thinking, but you're not identifying with it.
You are not identifying, and you don't need to prevent.
Okay.
While you live in this body, while you have this mind, mind has some purpose, but the main problem is we forget who we are. And sage never forgets that. See, average person, what happens, realizes after something has been done, oh, what happened? Sage never forgets that.
So
He's
you
more
do
than
need your mind. You do need your mind to really
you need
remember
your
that.
mind, but
Remember that.
remembering that this mind is a tool.
Yes.
Mind is not who I am.
A tool to remember who you really are. Does the mind?
Tool to remember, see, it's like a tool which we can use to do something outside. But again, a tool, when it forgets that, hey, see, ego is also comes into the picture. Identification is with the ego, right? That's what identification is. Who am I? So at that time, remembering who I am in reality, I am the source. Okay, so like keeping the whole picture in our mind.
But Hershji, then we are keep remembering also through the mind and keeping the picture also in the mind.
Yes.
So the mind, basically, I think what she is also
Yes.
saying, mind plays the biggest role here.
Yeah. Sadhana is with the mind.
Yeah.
That's why anybody who has a weaker mind or any kind of a mental disorder, very hard to do sadhana. It's almost like if you have a weak body, even to do the Sarvangasana, which we are talking about, very difficult to do. The whole scheme of the Hatha Yoga came so that this body stays healthy, so that we can do the sadhana. And the whole scheme about the Raj Yoga is so that mind stays healthy too. These are the tools we need to use to attain the goal. So we should not forget the goal. We should not become careless about the tools either. This is the sadhana. Yes, Jyoti.
Prem, you have a question? Unmute yourself. Go ahead, Prem.
I'm unmuted. Yep. So Hershey, you know, you in the past taught us a lot about purifying our mind.
Yes.
So the purer our mind is, the more we are able to disidentify with the ego and identify with who we are.
Yes, definitely. Pure mind means a healthy mind.
So our function really is to purify our mind. Our thoughts will become purified automatically.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Purify the mind and then have this kind of awareness that I am not the mind. No matter how pure and the strong and the beautiful the mind is, I am not the mind.
Would that be part of purification of mind? Because the mind
that comes later on. That comes later on. Non-identification.
Okay.
Okay, because sometimes, first we got to purify it.
Then mind gets to understand itself that mind is not ego, mind is not soul, mind is mind.
Mind is just a mind.
Yeah.
There is some owner of the mind.
Yeah.
Owner of the mind is what Atma is.
Atma.
See, just like take your attention towards that example of a chariot.
Right.
Mind is what in that chariot? The reins which are holding the horses. Horses are senses. Reins is the mind.
Is the mind.
And the driver of the chariot is the intellect. Yes.
Yeah.
No, Atma is the owner,
Owner.
sitting in the back.
And the driver is
Driver is the intellect.
the intellect. Right. Right.
Higher mind, that's why I'm glad there was a question over here from Poonam and Nishi. There's a higher mind because intellect, buddhi is also called a mind. In Sanskrit, it's the whole group, according to the functionality, the names are given, but it's a mind. Okay, it's a subtle body, antakaran. When it decides, it's called buddhi. Driver is the one which decides where to go. But driver better listen to the owner. Most of the time, driver, if does not pay attention to the owner, a corrupt driver will take the chariot alongside with the owner into the ditch also.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
Right? So just remember, always remember that analogy.
Okay.
There's a reason that picture is given in front of the Bhagavad Gita by most of the authors. Okay, remember that. Yes, Jyoti.
Thank you.
Urmil ji has a question.
Yes, Urmil.
You have to unmute yourself, Urmil ji.
It has gone above my head. There were
It's okay.
too many words regarding thinking and ideation and remembering, and I'm lost.
It's okay. It's all right. Just remember in this verse 63, bhavna, abhavna is thinking and non-thinking. Okay. And what happens is average person gets attached to the thinking and non-thinking. I'm thinking, I'm not thinking. But in the next line, all he's saying is the person who is established in the self. That means a person who is, see, he's talking from that level of practice where very few of us have reached. That's why it doesn't make sense. We have not experienced it. Okay, so just try to understand at this level, but some of you have experienced it. So that's why we need to discuss this also. So the view of one established in the self, though engaged in the thoughts of the objects. Okay, like a saintly person, a yogi, will say that, oh, he's thinking. Without thinking, you cannot write the books. Like my own Guruji, he wrote over 100 books. They did not come out without thinking. But then look at the adrishta rupini, as of the nature of non-ideation or identification. Never takes the credit for it. That's where Lord Krishna used the word Sarv Arambh Parityagi. While doing the actions also, whether it's writing the books or giving the lectures or cleaning the floor, doesn't matter. Without thinking, you cannot do it. But not even taking a credit for thinking. Just try to understand this much. You will see that it will be more and more clear. And ultimately, it will be clear only when it becomes your experience.
Because ideation is more of a thinking, fantasy ideas and hallucination, or, different kind of ideas.
Yeah, now over here, remember, ideation means thinking. Bhavna means thinking.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, don't try to bring too much into this word.
Because that's where I got stuck.
Yeah, don't know.
Ideation as such was more.
Yeah, I know this. Sometimes these words, they have a lot more meaning. Just try to focus on the limited meaning right now and understand it. Now let's look at the next verse.
So Hershey.
Yes.
Where some of the books are written because they are kind of channeled. Eckhart says the power of now, it came to him. many other books, Conversation with God, they're saying that they came to them.
Yeah, yeah.
So where would that fit in here?
Yeah, when it just came to them, definitely.
Aha moment.
Yeah, that was. And you can see in the difference in the writing also from the same authors.
Yeah.
When it was not channelized versus when they tried to write a book and then tried to become popular. The message is different.
Different.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that. I'm sure if you're sensitive towards that reading, everybody may not get it, but you can sense it. Okay. So 64. Sarv arambheshu nishkamaha yamuni charet balvat na lepa tasya shuddhasya kriyamane api karmani. Sarv arambheshu. In all undertakings or all actions, nishkamaha, without motive. Okay. Or motive or desire, unattached. Ya Muni, the wise one. Ya means who. Charet means moves. Balvat, like a child. Na lepaha. Na means not. Lepa means attachment, involvement. Tasya, of whom. Shuddhasya, pure. Kriyamane, which is being done. Api means even. Karmani, actions. The wise one who has no motive in all his actions. Moves like a child. And is pure. Has no attachments even in the action that is being done by him. Okay. So in other words, in this kind of a person, no trace of ego. The person does not have the sense of doership. In order to get rid of the doership, first we have to get rid of the enjoyership. Because sometimes we think, no, we want to become a non-doer. No. Enjoyership. That means do not focus on the result. That is the very first stage. So why he keeps on bringing about this analogy of child? Children, we have seen, even in the court of law, a child picks up a gun and shoots some adult over there. Child will not be convicted. Child did not have the motive to kill. Accident. Okay, so the motive behind the action. So that's how the wise one is. No motive. See, what is our motive? We want to enjoy. We want to do. We want to have the credit. We want to have the name and the fame. This kind of a wise person, no, he just does it, that's it. Okay? So the sage is one whom there is neither an ego nor any selfish desire. So his actions are always considered innocent like a child. Because it is the ego and its selfish motives that entangle us in the world outside. This is something we need to think about. Whenever we are disturbed, our ego has really taken a flight. Ego. How is that person not listening to me? Bring the ego down, calmness comes. To him, all activities become an engaging support, a joyous relaxation. Life becomes more enjoyable for this kind of a person. And that's what this Shuddhasya means, pure. You enjoy more. So this Sarv Arambh Parityagi, after the class, you can open your Gita, chapter number 12, verse number 16. Lord Krishna, what did he say? Sarva aram parityagi yo mad bhakta same priya. He says this kind of a bhagat who has renounced all undertakings is devoted to me, is dear to me. So that doesn't mean he doesn't do anything, but he doesn't take the ownership of doing something. Just doing it because it's supposed to be done, that's it. That's what Sarv Arambh Parityagi means. And then again in chapter 14, verse number 25, Sarv Arambh Parityagi Gunatita Sa Uchyate. Abandoning all undertakings, he is said to have crossed beyond the gunas. Because Arjuna asked, how did this yogi cross beyond the gunas? He said, this is the way to do it. Rise above the doership. Then he said again, Sarv Arambhahi Doshen Dhumen Agni Avrita. For all undertakings are enveloped by evil as fire by smoke. Because even if you are doing good and you think you are doing good, you are covering yourself. You can cover yourself with the satvikta. I am doing good deeds. Or you can cover yourself with the rajsikta. I want to do better than others. Or you can cover yourself with the tamsikta. I want to make sure that everybody thinks that I am doing better than others, by hook or by crook. So that's what this is, doshen. So he said, just let go of the idea of that you are a doer. So Lord Krishna, there's a reason that he's mentioning it again and again throughout Bhagavad Gita. Because what is Bhagavad Gita? It's a textbook to develop our personality. And this is the key element. Let go of the doership while doing your duties. So in all undertakings, no vanity at all. That is a Sarv Arambh Parityagi. Sa eva dhanya atmgya sarv bhaveshu yasama pashyan shrivan sprishan jigran ashnan nistarsh manasa. Sa means that, ev means indeed, dhanya, blessed, atmgya. See, Atma is the self, Gya means the knower. So the knower of the self. Sarv bhaveshu, in all conditions. Ya means who? Sama means the same. Pashyan, seeing, Shrivan, hearing, Saprishan, touching, Jigran, smelling, Ashnan, eating, Nitharsh Manasa, whose mind is free from thirst. Trishna, Thirsh means Trishna. Trishna means the desires, the craving. Craving is gone. Blessed indeed is that knower of the self, who with his mind free from thirst, even though seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, or eating remains the same under all conditions. So again and again, he is bringing our attention towards this fact that we are supposed to reach to this perfect condition while living in this body. Because this is what body does. Pashyan, Shrivan, Sprishan, right? All these things we do with the body. While living in the body, we are supposed to do the sadhana. After we leave this body, there's no sadhana. Sadhana is now. In this time, in this body, where we are. Not in the future, also in this life, today, right now. Okay? So, in the fields of activities, sometimes we think that it's inconceivable to do sadhana. But no, he's telling us again and again. There could be endless tossing in the world. But he is explaining this secret by which this man of perfection, a yogi, maintains his unbroken serenity under all conditions. See, and our mind goes through the storms. I don't want to see this. I want to see this. What are others seeing? So those are all tossings. Okay. So the secret lies in the special orientation which a sadhak has brought into the mental field. He has removed from his mind all the thirst. That is the key word over here. Because of the thirst, because of the trishna, because of the cravings, our mind is tossing. So this man of perfection has let go of all the trishna, all the desires. So we got to look at it. Where are our desires? And desires is what? Likes and dislikes. Right? Where do we stand? Do we get upset when things don't happen according to our liking? That means we are far away from this stage of perfection. And then we got to do more sadhana. Okay, so underline this, the desire or the trishna, cravings. And cravings is what? For the sense gratification. So mind becomes completely neutral to the empty charms in the world of happenings around him. It's not that you're going to control the world outside. You're going to control your own mind over here. Sadhana is not about controlling the world. Sadhana is controlling the mind. So man of realization does not run away from the world of the objects. He lives fully but freely. Remember that. We want to live fully, but we don't have any idea about freely. So he doesn't run away. Lives fully but freely. So if something doesn't come to him, that's fine too. If something comes, that's fine too. Okay, this is the idea over here. And he always, what is in his mind? This kind of a person, a saint, he sees the world as a gift from the Lord. It's a gift. Sunshine is a gift. Snowflakes are gift. Green leaves are gift. Red flowers are gift. Somebody is singing your glory, that's a gift. Somebody is insulting you, that's a gift too.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, because that's all we know about ourselves. Everything is a gift from God. Okay, so even our body, our very delicate sense organs are a grace of the Almighty. The power to see, power to hear, very delicate actually. Very powerful, but very delicate. And we just end up abusing them. Staying up late. Eating wrong things. Overdoing or underdoing. Got to be very careful about these things. A man of realization would not dare to insult the Lord of the universe by abusing this beautiful body. Because this is a gift given to us from God. He will not destroy the outside. That's why all those Ved mantras we recite, these rishis, they are the rishis, perfect human beings. They said, these are devatas. Don't pollute them. Take care of them. So, but then the same powers inside us, they are also devatas. Man is a devata. Power to see is a devata. Power to hear is a devata too. Be careful about it. So seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, and eating. He shows his gratitude to the creator of the universe and keeps on honoring him. Keep on honoring him. So he is a free soul, free to live in the world, absolutely uninhibited, without tensions and conflicts. Outside people might think that he is indulging, but there is a samhita. See? Sa ev dhanyaha atmagya sarv bhaveshu ya sama. Complete equanimity. And the objects of the world cannot entangle him. He is such a free person. He sees the world as great entertainment by a fabulous magician. Who created all this? God did. He knows that. So even while looking at the whole world, he perceives only the supreme reality. He sees God everywhere. He lives life in almost like a breathless wonderment. Never ever a victim of its hallucinations. Okay? Because there's no Trishna, there's no desire, there's nothing like it should be my way. Yes, God is the one who's doing it. It's a wonderful world, wonderful, everything is wonderful. And stay equanimous. Okay, anybody has a question? I think because you guys asked questions before, so I took a little longer, okay? Sorry about that, but you can ask a question now though. Anybody, or your input or something which you think differently, that's okay too. I don't have any problem with that.
I think
No, nobody has a question?
good.
Okay, so we will start with the verse number 66 next week then. If anybody wants to sing, I think we got several wonderful singers over here. So if somebody wants to sing, just raise your hand. If nobody wants to sing, then I'll ask Manny to.
Kamala?
Manny can play a little.
Rita is here. She wanted to do it. Remember yesterday you told her?
No, Rita cannot do Thursday because she's with the grandkids. That's why I
saw
said.
her. I saw her. She was there.
No. She is there, Kamala, but grandkids are with her.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's why it was supposed to be switched. So that
okay, that's fine.
Wednesday she doesn't have the grandkids. So
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was saying. Yeah. So Manny Sharma, where are you?
आपने मुझे मैंने कहना है मैनी जी बोलेंगे जैसा बोले आप.
Yeah, Manny, कहाँ है Manny?
पता नहीं.
Manny? He was signed on twice.
बोलिएगा जब आप.
Okay, all right.
बोलूं फिर मैं?
Manny is not there, Jyoti?
And he's there, but not there.
Okay, all right. Kamala, why don't you sing then? It's okay.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम. सीताराम सीताराम भज प्यारे तू सीताराम. सीताराम सीताराम भज प्यारे तू सीताराम. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे नाम, सबको सन्मति दे भगवान। जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम, जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। भूपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। दुखियों के दुख हारे राम, भक्तों के रखवारे राम। दुखियों के दुख हारे राम, भक्तों के रखवारे राम। कौशल्या के प्यारे राम, दशरथ राज दुलारे राम। कौशल्या के प्यारे राम, दशरथ राज दुलारे राम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। थैंक यू जी, थैंक यू।
Thank you, Kamla. Beautiful.